Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. EQA Nostalgia here. And I just want to take a little bit of time to summarize some of the things that we've seen in the live stream yesterday. And I also want to take a moment to thank everybody from SOF Studios for keeping us in the loop the way they have over the past several months. Like Patrick said during the live stream, there really hasn't been this kind of coverage on the inside of a game development before. Now, I've been a part of a lot of early access games where you get updates on forums and stuff like that, but I've never seen anything like this. Not this much involvement, live streams, and constantly keeping us in the loop. So, a big thank you, and please keep on doing what you're doing. Okay, so first and foremost, the Unreal Engine 3 has been confirmed to be the proof of concept engine of choice. Now, David did mention they did struggle with it for a little while, and it was a little frustrating at first, but I think that's to be expected whenever you're working with a new engine. But they worked out the kinks on it, and they got everything running smooth, and they came to the conclusion that it was the best engine that they could go with. Now, they did hint around that they might migrate over to Unreal Engine 4, but nothing has been confirmed in that capacity. It does seem like a very logical step to take the game, but I'm not certain if they're going to do that when they start working on the final product, or maybe further down the line, like H-Hour 2. I know if things do go well, that's probably where they're going to want to go because it's just a natural step. It's natural progression. So I think it's safe to say we're going to be seeing a lot of the Unreal Engine in the H-Hour series. I say series because I am very hopeful that this will continue for a very long time. Now, somebody in the live stream actually mentioned PlayStation Move and the Oculus Rift and if they're going to be supported, and immediately alarms started going off in my head. I started thinking about SOCOM 4 and that stupid gun they had. And, David was real careful to say we don't plan on supporting any kind of motion crap or anything like that, thankfully. I think he knew that it's exactly what nobody wants. So I don't know who this guy was that was asking this stuff, but I can only imagine that people dove all over him in the chat because I got into the live stream a little late. I was very busy that day, but I can only imagine that people were just downing him left and right. As far as the Oculus Rift is concerned, that could be interesting, but like David said, I don't want to see anything get in the way of development. You know what I mean? They need to focus on developing the game before they start talking about virtual reality headsets and shit like that. Now, personally, I'm not really interested in the Oculus Rift or the PlayStation 1. I forgot what the name of it is. I'm not really interested, man. I guess I'm kind of classic. Just give me a controller and a TV and I'm good to go. I personally think this is going to be something that's very niche. And I've just, I've been around for a long time and I've seen a lot of peripherals just completely flop. I mean, I remember back during the Nintendo era when they had that little Rob robot that would like kind of help you play Gyromite. I remember all that shit. And usually those things just ended up collecting dust in the corner of a room somewhere. I remember the Virtual Boy giving people migraines when Nintendo brought that out. I remember all of that shit, man. So I'm not interested. It could be cool with certain games. Like I've seen some of them where you're just kind of running around the forest and shit like that. It could be fun. But yeah, when I'm playing H-Hour and shooters, it's not something I'm interested in at all. But who knows? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's going to be something that the newer gamer generation really embraces. It's been something that me and my friends have talked about for years. Video games in the future, they're all going to be virtual reality, and you're going to be actually running around, and it's something that people have been talking about for a long time, like the holodeck from Star Trek or some shit like that. But I think we're a long ways off before it gets to be that cool. So. And even then, you're gonna have retro gamers like me who would rather just plug their shit into the TV and go. So the next thing that they talked about, they kind of addressed the community and their concerns in terms of the way the characters look. And this is something I've been saying for a long time, man. I've said this so many times on my channel, so I can only imagine how completely sick of it the guys over at SOF Studios must be, David Sears and everybody. They must be getting really tired of explaining to people the situation that we're in right now. It's a proof of concept, and it doesn't look perfect. The character models don't look perfect, but they kind of mentioned a little bit why. They said that in order to raise the situational awareness with the camera field of view, it caused the character models to look a little awkward and disproportionate. And they're more worried about making it so that you can see better and then it's more fun than getting everything to look really spot on right now. And the whole mocap thing, the motion capture is going to be done later. And there's several reasons why the characters don't look that great. And you can tell that David's getting a little frustrated with having to tell people, listen, man, we only had so much money to work with here, and we did this as quick as we could to get the proof of concept ready. It's not representative of the final product. And I can start to see why companies don't pull people into very early production because, man, the community just doesn't fucking get it. When they see things, they're like, well, that doesn't look like it should look. Well, of course it doesn't look like it should. It's very early. So you could definitely see the frustration from those guys over there. And I really hope that people will just chill out a little bit and understand we're a long ways off before this is a finished product. Now, once the game is in beta for the final product and it still doesn't look good, then bitch all you want. And I've had people give me shit before. It's not an excuse. Pre-alpha proof of concept isn't an excuse. Oh man, the community can just really get to the point where you just want to choke some of these guys. You have to be patient, man. And I know a lot of people want this to be the best that it can be, and so do I. But it's just something where you have to be patient. And I'm worried, I'm worried that things might not work out or something might go wrong. What I'm most worried about right now is getting funding from someone who doesn't let SOF Studios do what they want to do creatively. And I was very relieved when Tom said that, they're being very careful about who they let fund this game because they don't want them to screw up the formula because they've got the formula, they know what they need to do. Right now they're in an indie position where they can have creative freedom, and the last thing they need is getting the life choked out of them by some corporation saying, well, if you want us to continue to fund you guys, you're going to have to do this or that or put in kill streaks because that's what all the kiddies like now. So I was relieved that they're being very careful about that. But yeah, SOF Studios, I have the utmost confidence in them to deliver what we're looking for. So I've always been that way since the start. And people have been like, yeah, you're just, you're a blind follower, you're a fanboy, whatever. I completely put all my trust in these guys, and I think they're doing a great job. I've been covering this since the Kickstarter, man. you know, so I've been there along with all of this. So I'm just as concerned as everybody else is, and I don't see any reason to be concerned on the SOF side of things at all. So yeah, I just wanted to put that out there. The only thing to be concerned about is getting the funding in. And that brings me to the point of E3. Somebody asked if the game was going to be at E3, and again, that's all up to the publisher and anybody who's going to fund them if they're going to be at E3. I certainly hope so, because that would mean things are going very well in terms of funding. It means that the next goal that they're focused on is being reached rapidly, because E3, before you know it, it'll be here. And if HL is there at E3, that's very good news, guys. So let's just hope that they secure the funding they need. And that, like I said, I'm going to say this a million times, that is my main concern right now, funding. And it has been ever since I've seen the gameplay videos. I've been like, all right, cool. It's looking good to me. Let's talk about funding here. Okay, so next up, proximity chat. David had expressed that he was pretty much in favor of it. Now, it hasn't been confirmed one way or another, but I think it's going to be in the game. The general consensus seemed to me that SOF Studios was leaning towards it. Now, I don't know how I feel about proximity chat. You guys who've watched my videos, I've talked about it and said that there's negatives to it, there's positives to it. And one of the negatives is having to deal with people in their everyday bullshit, screaming and yelling. And I've played a lot of online games, man, and I've heard pretty much everything short of someone being murdered on the opposite end of the mic. I've heard kids being yelled at by their moms, kids just being kids and being stupid, music playing, babies crying, couples arguing, and that can be really annoying. But then again, it could work to your advantage if they've got all that bullshit going on in the background. You could hear where they are and stuff like that, but that might just lead to them muting their mic and not talking to anyone at all. I mean, it could help you for your teammates. If someone's coming up behind you, they might be able to tell you if they're within close proximity. It could be good. It can have a lot of good things. But another thing that kind of got on my nerves about proximity chat is when I played SOCOM Confrontation. I've told this story before. There was a guy that was sitting in the Frostfire computer room with claymores, and he was just talking mad shit to everybody. And he was playing like, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. He was playing like a pussy. He was just hiding in there with claymores, and it was a respawn. It was just like a warm-up game. So it didn't really matter anyway, but it was very frustrating, and everybody was getting pissed on the mic. And it just turned really toxic really, really quick. But then again, I've had instances where I've come up behind people and I've said something to them, and they go to turn around and I killed them, and then I laughed my ass off. So, like I said, pros and cons, man. If it's in the game, that's fine. If it's not in the game, that's fine. It's nothing that I really feel strong about either way, and I'm on the fence about that one. Now, there was something that was mentioned that was pretty funny. Rev from therealsocom.com. Big shout out to you right now, man, because you got Tom's attention about the CAC Pack, and I've mentioned the CAC Pack a few times on this channel. If you don't know what the CAC Pack is, I'm going to put it up on the screen right now. That right there is the CAC Pack. And it does look like a cack and balls, and I've expressed some concern about it. And there's other people who've expressed concern about it, and apparently Rev got Tom's attention. So that's going to be addressed, and that's good because, it's kind of hard to play a badass special forces guy with a cack and balls on your back. So this is something that's going to just this is something that's going to go down in history. People are going to be talking about. Remember when they had the CAC Pack and the proof of concept on H-Hour? Yeah, I remember the CAC Pack. Good times. But anyway, on a more serious note, Tom had mentioned swag for the game for H-Hour. And hopefully we'll be seeing something like that soon, an H-Hour store where we can go in and buy sweaters and stuff. But he did mention that there's not going to be access to any of the exclusive stuff. The stuff that guys already got from the Kickstarter campaign, that's going to remain exclusive, which is really important to a lot of people. And I think that's a very good idea because later on down the line, you'll be able to say, check it out, I got this shirt or I got this hat. I was part of the Kickstarter. I was there from the beginning. And that's important to a lot of people. It's important to me. So hopefully that store will be up soon. And I am looking forward to that very much. Something like that is just a win-win for everybody. It helps SOF with funding in any capacity, even if it just puts money directly in their pocket that doesn't go to the game. They deserve every dime that they get, as far as I'm concerned. So if I can buy something I know it goes to them, I'm happy I got a good product. They're happy they got some money. Win-win. Good stuff. Okay, so there's just one more thing I wanted to mention before I go. David did confirm that there's going to be a gameplay video, a live gameplay video later on this week. So that's something that everybody should be looking forward to. He said the guys are going to be greening up and they're going to be playing the game. They're going to let us see them running around. Now, I'm guessing they're going to be playing via LAN. I don't know if it's just going to be one guy playing against bots. I'm hoping that they're showing us some LAN party stuff where all the guys can shoot each other and hopefully there'll be some smack talking going on. That's what I got in my head. That's what I want to see. The SOF Studios team whooping the snot out of each other and talking smack. I think that would be really awesome. But either way, I'm very much looking forward to that gameplay, and you should too. So with that having been said, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. I hope you guys will take a moment to leave a like, subscribe if you have not done so. I thank you all for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video.